Today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting radical expressions. So here's just a big radical. Obviously this symbol is our radical sign. What's inside is called the radicand, and then this little number is called the index. So generally if there's nothing there, that's generally what we see, and that's just a square root, but it could have like a little 3, which would be a cube root, 4 would be a fourth root, and so on. So that's called the index. In order to be able to add or subtract, the radicals have to have the same radicand and the index. So what's inside and what's outside have to be the exact same. So we're going to look at an example. 2 root 7 plus 4 root 7, they have the same radicand, which is 2. It's not written, and then they have the same radicand. So we combine the coefficients to get 6 root 7. It's just like combining like terms. Here's another one. Cube root of xy plus 4 cube root of xy becomes a 5 cube root of xy. Remember, there's a 1 out in front of this first term. So 5 cube root of xy. If we have the fourth root of 5 minus the fourth root of 8, they have the same index, but their radicands are different, so we can't do that one. That would be as simplified as possible. Again, 6 root 2 plus 8 root 11, same radical, different radicands. So what's underneath that radical is not the same, so it's as simplified as possible. Maybe. Okay, we can even get into some fractions. So remember, our fractions, in order to add them, the denominators have to be the same. They have the same denominators. Now we have to decide, can I combine any of my numerators? Well, here we have a root 5q and a root 5q, so we can combine those to be a 5 root 5q. This is a root 3r, so that just has to stay by itself, but our final answer would be 5 root 5q over 7 minus 4 root 3r over 7. Since they have the same denominator, we can write them together as one term like that. Okay, here is a little lengthier example. Sometimes we need to simplify before we go and combine. So these two terms are the same. We could automatically write that as a 6 root 2m, but this needs some simplification. So just like we did the other day, we're going to break this into root 4 times 2. There's an m squared and an m. With that in mind, the square root of 4 is 2, square root of m squared is m, so we have a 6m root 2m, and then these two terms still. When we go to combine, we have 6m root 2m plus 6 root 2m. And then technically we could factor out these coefficients or factor out root 2m. You could just simplify it and write it in this form. Is a little more condensed. I would like you guys to try simplifying this one.